Hello everyone, Jasmine here from LVL Up Consulting with the People First Projects podcast. Definitely have regrets with that name. On the couch with me today, as always, I am joined by the wonderful Poornima and Maciej from the LVL Up Consulting project management team. And in this podcast series, we talk about a whole range of project-related topics and how we, in our experience, bring a very human-centric element to delivering that for ourselves and for our clients. And this week's topic is how to kickstart a project successfully. So we've talked about if you're a sponsor, what to consider. We've talked about good versus great projects. Now we have a project and we want to hit the ground running and make sure it's set up for success. So who wants to go first? I feel like you went first last time, Maciej. So Poornima is probably busting to go first. So sure. Poornima, you've done lots of projects. What, in your experience, how do you set them up to, hit the ground running and start really well?
To kick off, I would say the main thing is to have a clear project scope and vision. Just make sure you've got the right goals. Use a SMART technique, which could be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, so that you make sure you have that scope defined and it's been given to your team as well. Once you have the goals, make sure you get the right team as well to work with. Make sure you have a defined roles and responsibilities set so that you can achieve those goals. Once you have the team and the goals with you, the next step would be to develop a plan where you put in the tasks, milestone, and have a deadline and assign it to the people you've got the team with, and just get the project started. These would be the baselines to kick off a project.
I love that. I've worked in projects before and I've led projects before where it's one thing to have the right people, but as you say, Poornima, have very clear roles and responsibilities and have almost like a RACI that says this is exactly what your scope of work is and when our expectations as a team. That's also helpful if you're delivering a project for a client as well, or there's a vendor involved, to be really clear on the roles and responsibilities. So perfect. Love that. Maciej, did Poornima steal all your points?
Not yet. I was excited to start talking about this part because, as I mentioned before, these are two of my favorite parts of the project. So first one is kickstarting the project, and second one is finishing the project. So the whole process in between these two parts is less exciting for me.
Like a sandwich.
Yeah. But so I know that we could sit here and just talk about this part of project for hours, but don't worry. I chose only 3 points to share it with you. So from my perspective, first one will be to set proper goals and milestones for the whole project to be sure that it's not gonna be a surprise for anyone. So that's gonna be a clear perspective for the whole project. Second part is about the list of risk and constraints, because there's nothing more terrifying than finding a risk in the middle of the project that you didn't think before. Mm-hmm. And last one is going to be, for me, I think I forgot my point.
Budget, I think you said before.
Oh, resources.
Yes.
Yeah, resources. This is my favorite point. So you have to be sure that all of your resources are set. So you've got the good people, as Poornima mentioned. You've got budget accepted. You can just go with full confidence to the whole process of doing the project.
Yeah.
Whew.
Absolutely. You're so spot on about the risks. The amount of times that I've had a risk become an issue in real time with a project because we didn't even think of it. Yes, good point. My top tips for kicking off a project successfully, just to wrap all of that together sort of neatly, I didn't even plan this, but everything that you just mentioned, I personally like to put on a one-page plan. So a plan on a page, I suppose, of the project, and then use that and have it available to everyone in your project team and all of your stakeholders so people can anchor in that original vision and the schedule and the tasks and the risks, but then use that in a project kickoff meeting as well. I think as even a project sponsor, but a project manager, if you can get everyone in the same room, walk them through everything you just mentioned so everyone is on the same page, quite literally from day one, that I think is also one of the differences between a good project and a great project, to have people aligned. So I guess there are tips for how you can have a really people-first approach to kickstarting a project, and hopefully, as Maciej says, a project that actually finishes, because we know 70% of projects don't finish, and that is by far the best project outcome you can have is to actually finish it and do that project closure report. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you on the podcast next week.